Right now, as you are watching this, your phone is doing something you never asked it to do. It is quietly collecting data, building a profile on you, tracking what you search, what you install, what you browse, and even how long you spend looking at certain apps. And the scariest part? It is all happening inside one app you open almost every single day, the Google Play Store. Most people have no idea this is going on. Most people just open the Play Store, download what they need, and move on. But what if I told you that there are specific settings inside the Play Store right now, on your phone, that are switched on by default, silently feeding your behavior back to Google, and that turning them off takes less than 60 seconds? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what to disable, exactly why it matters, and exactly how to do it, step by step. No fluff, no filler, just the truth. Let me start by painting you a picture. You are sitting at home and you start thinking about buying a new pair of running shoes. You do not search for them yet, you just think about it, maybe mention it to a friend. Then you open your phone, go to the Play Store, and suddenly you're seeing fitness apps, sports apps, and shoe brand apps recommended right at the top of your screen. You open YouTube and there are shoe ads. You open Instagram and there are shoe ads. Coincidence? Absolutely not. This is what data-driven personalization looks like in real life. And it starts inside apps like the Google Play Store, where your behavior is being watched, recorded, and used to build an advertising profile around you that follows you everywhere you go on the internet. Now I want to be completely clear with you here, because I am not here to spread fear or misinformation. Google does not hide these settings. They are documented. They are real. But they are buried so deep inside menus that the average person, including people who consider themselves tech-savvy, will never find them unless someone points them out. That is exactly what this video is. A pointer, a guide. From someone who actually dug into the documentation, researched what these settings do, and is now putting it all in front of you in plain language. So let us talk about what is actually happening when you use the Google Play Store. Every time you open the app, scroll through the home screen, search for something, tap on an app listing, read the reviews, and then maybe decide not to download it. All of that is being logged. Google calls this your Play history. It is a record of your interactions inside the Play Store. And by default, it is turned on and actively used to personalize your experience. Now, personalization sounds nice, right? It sounds like the app is doing you a favor. But what it really means is that Google is analyzing your behavior patterns, learning your interests, mapping your habits, and then using all of that to decide what to show you, and more importantly, what ads to target you with across the entire Google ecosystem. And here is where it gets even more interesting. The Play Store does not just track what you do inside the Play Store. It feeds into a much larger data collection system called Web and App Activity. This is the master switch for your Google account, the setting that controls what Google records about everything you do across Search, Maps, YouTube, Chrome, and yes, the Play Store. When Web and App Activity is switched on, which it is by default, Google is essentially building a continuous log of your digital life. Every search you run, every map direction you check, every video you watch, every app you browse, it all goes into this one giant record that Google stores, analyzes, and uses to serve you targeted ads and personalized content. And here's the thing that really makes people stop and think when they first hear it. Google says it uses this data to improve its services. And that is partially true. The data does help improve search results, app recommendations, and other features. But it also helps Google serve more relevant advertising, which is how the company makes the vast majority of its revenue. In 2024, Google's advertising business brought in over $230 billion. That money does not come from nowhere. It comes from the data that users like you and me generate every single day just by using our phones. So when you use the Play Store and your activity is being tracked, you are, whether you realize it or not, participating in one of the largest data collection operations in human history. Now, does that mean Google is evil? Not necessarily. Does it mean you should delete every Google app and live off the grid? That is your call, and probably an extreme one. But what it does mean is that you deserve to know what is happening, and you deserve the choice to opt out if you want to. And that is exactly what we are here to do today. Let us get into the first setting you need to address, and this one is inside the Play Store itself. Open the Google Play Store on your phone. Tap on your profile picture in the top right corner, that circle with your photo or initial. You will see a menu drop down. Tap on Settings. Now you're inside the Play Store's Settings menu. Scroll down and look for an option that says General. Tap on that. Inside General Settings, you will find an option called Personal. Tap on it and then look for Personalization in Play. This is where Google controls how it uses your data to customize your Play Store experience. Inside this section, you will find toggle switches for different types of personalization, including one for your device details and one for your Play history. Now here is what these actually do, because I want you to understand this before you touch anything. The device details personalization means Google uses information about the specific phone or tablet you're using, the brand, the model, the operating system version, to decide what apps to show you. On the surface, that seems fine, but it also means Google has a detailed record of every device associated with your Google account, and it uses that cross-device data to build a more complete picture of you as a user. Turning this off means Google will still show you apps that are compatible with your device. That part keeps working, but it will no longer use your device data to feed its broader profiling system. The Play History personalization is even more significant. This is the setting that tracks everything you browse, search, and interact with inside the Play Store. Every app you tap on, every category you explore, every search term you type, it all goes into your Play history. And that history is actively used to personalize not just your Play Store experience, but your broader Google experience as well. Turning this off means your in-app behavior stops being logged for personalization purposes. Your recommendations may become slightly less targeted, but that is actually the point. You get to browse without being watched. So go ahead and toggle both of those off. It takes literally 5 seconds, and you will immediately stop feeding one of the most direct pipelines of behavioral data that Google pulls from regular Play Store users. But we are not done, because the second setting is even more important, and it lives not inside the Play Store, but inside your Google account settings, which is exactly where most people never think to look. Go back to the Play Store home screen, tap on your profile picture again. This time, tap on Manage Your Google Account. This takes you into the central hub for your entire Google account. From here, tap on the tab that says Data and Privacy. You might need to scroll left or right across the top tabs to find it. Once you are inside Data and Privacy, scroll down until you see a section called History Settings. This is where the real action is. You will see an option called Web and App Activity. Tap on it. This is the master control for how much of your digital behavior Google records and stores. When this is turned on, and again, it is on by default, Google is logging your activity across Search, Chrome, Maps, YouTube, the Play Store, and virtually every other Google product you use. It is a comprehensive record of your digital life as it passes through Google's ecosystem. Now, I want to pause here and be completely honest with you, because some people online will tell you that turning off web and app activity makes Google completely blind to what you do. That is not entirely accurate, and I will not mislead you. Google still collects some data even when this setting is off, primarily for security purposes and to keep basic services functioning. What turning it off does is stop Google from storing and using that data for personalization and advertising purposes. That is a meaningful difference, and it is one worth making. Tap on the toggle to turn off web and app activity. You will get a confirmation pop-up asking if you are sure. Confirm it. Now your Play Store searches, your Google searches, your Maps queries, and your YouTube watch history all stop being stored in the personalized activity log that feeds Google's advertising system. But there is one more step inside this menu that most people completely miss, and it is arguably the most eye-opening one. While you're still inside the web and app activity settings, scroll down and look for a section that shows what types of activity are included. You will see a checkbox or subsetting for something called Include Chrome History and Activity from sites, apps, and devices that use Google services. This means that if you use Chrome as your browser and you are signed into your Google account, your entire browsing history, every website you visit, every link you click, is also being fed into your web and app activity log. That is not just your Play Store behavior. That is your entire internet life. Turn that off too. And while you are there, look for another subsetting called Include Voice and Audio Activity. If you use Google Assistant, this setting logs recordings of your voice commands. Turn that off as well if it is enabled. Now, let us talk about something that does not get enough attention in videos like this, and that is the advertising ID. Every Android phone is assigned something called a Google Advertising ID, also known as a GAID. This is a unique identifier that apps use to track your behavior across different services and show you targeted ads. Think of it like a tracking cookie, but for your entire phone rather than just one website. When an app wants to show you a personalized ad, it checks your advertising ID, looks at what other apps and services have recorded about that ID, and uses that information to decide what ad to serve you. Here is the good news. You can delete your advertising ID entirely. Go to your phone's Settings app, not the Play Store, but your main phone settings. Go to Google, then Ads. Or on some phones, go to Privacy and then Ads. You will see your advertising ID displayed there, and you will see an option to delete advertising ID. Tap it. Confirm it. Done. Once you delete your advertising ID, apps can no longer use it to track you across services. New apps you install will not be able to build a cross-app profile on you. Your advertising experience will become less personalized, which means ads may feel more random and less eerily on target. For many people, that is a significant relief. Now, I know some people watching this are going to say, okay, but does any of this actually matter? My life is not that interesting. I do not have anything to hide. And I hear that. It is a very common response. But here's the thing. Privacy is not about hiding something. Privacy is about having control. It is about deciding for yourself what information you share, with whom, and for what purpose. When your Play Store activity is being automatically harvested and used to build an advertising profile around you without you ever consciously agreeing to it, that is not a service. That is a transaction you never signed up for. And the fact that it happens in the background, quietly and invisibly, is exactly why it deserves your attention. Think about what Google actually knows about you if web and app activity has been running unchecked for years. It knows every app you have ever searched for. It knows which health-related apps you have looked at, which could reveal information about medical conditions you are managing or curious about. It knows which finance apps you have browsed, which could indicate your financial situation. It knows which dating apps you have checked out, which relationship you might be in or looking for. It knows which religious apps, political news apps, addiction recovery apps, mental health apps, all of it. And all of that information is sitting in a database associated with your Google account, potentially for years. And here's another angle that most people do not think about. It is not just about what Google does with that data internally. Data breaches happen. Companies get hacked. Regulations change. Governments request data. The less personal information that is stored about you, the less there is to be exposed if something goes wrong. The most secure data is the data that was never collected in the first place. Now let us also talk about something that is newly relevant as of 2025 and 2026, and that is Gemini, Google's AI assistant. If you have Gemini set as your default assistant on your Android phone, it now has access to a memory feature that was rolled out globally in late 2025. This feature allows Gemini to reference your past conversations to build a picture of who you are and what you care about. By default, this is switched on. It means Gemini is not just a tool you pick up and put down. It is actively building a profile on you based on every conversation you have with it. Go into the Gemini app, tap on your profile picture, go to Gemini app's activity, and you will see a full log of everything Gemini has recorded. You can turn off activity logging here, and you can also delete all existing records. If you use Gemini regularly, this is worth doing because the data Gemini collects about your conversations can be among the most intimate information on your phone. You talk to AI assistants differently than you talk to search engines. You ask more personal questions. You explore more sensitive topics. And every one of those conversations, if activity is logged, is sitting in Google's servers. One more setting that deserves your attention, and this one is back in your phone's main settings app. Go to Settings, then Privacy, and look for Permission Manager. This is where you can see which apps have been granted access to sensitive parts of your phone. Your camera, your microphone, your location, your contacts, your files. This is not specifically a Play Store setting, but it is directly related to everything we have been talking about, because many apps you have downloaded from the Play Store may have permissions you never realized you granted, or that you granted once and forgot about. Tap on Location. You will see a list of all the apps that have location access on your phone. Look through the list carefully. How many of those apps actually need your location to function? A Maps app? Obviously yes. A weather app? Maybe. But a flashlight app? A calculator? A game? There's no legitimate reason for those apps to know where you are. For any app that does not genuinely need your location, go in and change the permission to deny or change it from allow all the time to only while using the app, or ask every time. Do the same for microphone and camera. If an app has microphone access but is not a voice recorder or communications app, revoke it. Also, inside Permission Manager, look for a setting called Remove Permissions for Unused Apps. Turn this on. This is an Android feature that automatically revokes permissions for apps you have not used in a long time. It means that old apps sitting dormant on your phone cannot continue to have access to your location, microphone, or camera in the background. It is one of the most underrated privacy features on Android, and it takes zero effort once you enable it. Here's the big picture, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. Everything we have talked about in this video, the Play Store personalization settings, the web and app activity switch, the advertising ID, the Gemini memory feature, the app permissions, none of this is a secret in the sense that Google is hiding it maliciously. Google documents all of these settings. But the design of these systems puts them in places most people will never look, with defaults that favor data collection, and with language that sounds helpful rather than alarming. Personalization, tailored experience, smarter recommendations. These are the words used to describe what is, at its core, a system designed to collect as much information about you as possible. That does not make Google uniquely evil. Every major tech company does this. Apple does it, Meta does it, Amazon does it. It is the business model of the modern internet. But that is exactly why, as a regular person with a phone in your hand, Understanding these settings and making deliberate choices about them is one of the most practical things you can do to take back a little bit of control over your own digital life. And here's the thing that I really want you to take away from this. None of what we did today breaks your phone. None of it makes the Play Store stop working. You can still download apps. You can still get updates. You can still use Google Search and YouTube and Maps. All we did was tell Google that your behavior inside these apps is not up for grabs. That the data your phone generates as you go about your day is not automatically available for advertising purposes. That you want to use these tools without being the product. That is not a radical position. That is just informed consent. So here is your action list, and I want you to actually do these right now while you are watching, or the moment this video ends, because the longer you wait, the longer those settings stay on. Open the Play Store, go to your profile, go to Settings, then General, then Personal, then Personalization in Play, and turn off Device Details, Personalization, and Play History Personalization. Then go to Manage your Google account, go to Data and Privacy, go to Web and App Activity and turn it off, and make sure to also disable the subsettings for Chrome History and Voice Activity while you're there. Then go to your phone's main settings, go to Google or Privacy, find Ads, and delete your advertising ID. Then check your Permission Manager and revoke any app permissions that do not make sense. And finally, turn on the Remove Permissions for Unused Apps feature. That is it. That is the whole list. It takes maybe 5 minutes if you go through it step by step. And when you are done, your phone is still your phone, but it is a little bit more yours than it was before. If you found this video useful, share it with someone who uses an Android phone and probably has no idea any of this is happening. Because honestly, most people do not. And the more people who know about this, the harder it becomes for these default settings to just silently collect data from hundreds of millions of users who never even knew they had a choice.